In this video tutorial you will learn how to use the formulas of left, right, mid and lower, as well as looking at the concatenate formula. So let's get right on with the tutorial. Hello and welcome to another free e-learning tutorial from dakinane.com. What we're going to look at today is we're going to look at some more Excel formulas, and specifically we're going to look at how Excel handles text. So this is a really important tool to use because it allows you to export data from a database, manipulate the text and then use it for things like usernames and creating email addresses and etc, etc, etc. So depending how you want to work with text, this is a good tutorial to listen to, because we're going to cover the left, right, mid and lower formulas. I'm going to briefly touch on concatenate. If you don't see how the concatenate formula works, because I kind of rushed through it, don't panic. I've created a whole tutorial on YouTube already on the concatenate formula, and I will provide a link in the video to jump through to the concatenate formula for you. So let's get on with this. So let's look at here. You can see I've made this table here. On the left hand side in column A I've got some names, and then across the top here I've got the words left, right and mid. These are the formulas we're going to look at. And what the left formula does specifically is it allows us to actually examine the left-hand character or the first character in a text string. And this is particularly important because sometimes we might, in an organisation, want to have a rule about how our usernames are created, which can often be the full first name and then the first letter or the initial letter of the family name. And in different organisations there'll be different kinds of rules, but you know, this is going to show you how to extract that kind of information using formulas. So let's get started. Let's look at this one here, and we're going to use the left formula. So all formulas in Excel start with the equal sign, and we're going to put in left, open brackets, and as you can see here what we've got is two arguments that we have to fill. The first one is text, and so we're going to tell Excel which text we want it to interrogate, which is going to be in cell A2. We separate our arguments with a comma, and the next thing we have to say is how many characters do we want to be returned. So it's starting from the left, so it's going to look at the initial character and count to the right. So what we're going to do is just in this first instance choose one character, close brackets, and I expect to get capital S, and I do. So now let's use the autofill function, and again, if you're not sure about the autofill function, I've got a tutorial on these kind of tips and tricks, so just dig those out. But as a quick reminder, what we can do here is we highlight a cell, and every time you highlight a cell, in the bottom right hand corner there is a large square that when you float your mouse over the top it changes. As soon as it goes to the black cross you can then click and drag, and what Excel does, whatever's in that formula, it will copy down or recognize a pattern and then repeat the pattern, but you can have a look at that later. So you can see here we've got SJJW, which is the first letters of each of these text strings here. But let's look at this. How can we manipulate this better for us? So if we go over here and type in to A3 Jones, maybe we want to get the first two characters, so we simply type in 2 and we get Joe. And again, if we do this again over here for Jenkin, if we type in first 3 we'll get Jen, and if we come down to Williams here and we type in the first 4 we'll get Will. So it's depending on how you want to manipulate the text, the left function starts at the left and will return the number of characters by the integer that you use in the second argument. And right works in exactly the same way. So here I'm going to click on equal sign and I'm going to type in right, open brackets, same argument again, except this time it's the opposite. Excel will start from the right hand character and count back to the left. So it's exactly the same. So highlight A2, 1, close brackets, and I should get the H of Smith. Autofill, drag this down, and you can see here I've got the last character of each of the family names here. So let's edit this, and again you can see the pattern, you can see what's going to happen. I'm going to type in 2 here, I shall get ES, I shall type in 3 here and get KIN, and for Williams I shall type in 4 and get IAMS, I hope. Yes, correct. So again, you can see very easily how you can make this work for your organisation. Now, the mid function will take out characters from the middle of a text string for you. So we'll type in equals mid, open brackets. Now this time we've got 3 arguments. Again, identify the text, separate with a comma, and this time we have to indicate the start number. Which character do you want to start with, counting in from the left? So if we put in 2 in this Smith example, Excel counts in 2, and the second character is M. And then we have another bracket. How many then characters from M do you want to collect? In this case we'll put 2, close bracket. So I should end up with MI, and I do. Again, autofill. Let's drag this down here. And so you can see, let's do this. So this time round I want to do 2 and 3. So we should get 1. This time round with Jenkins, with a slightly longer name, we can start a bit later. We'll do 3 and 3. So we're going to start on the third character letter, which will be N. We should end up with NKI. We do. And the last one, let's do this. Let's do 3, or let's do 4 and 3. There we go. We get Leah. So hopefully you can see that with these 3 simple little formulas here, you can actually start to extract text that you want. But let's, why would you do that? Let's look at a practical example here. So I'm going to switch across to my other sheet I've already created. And this is probably more like how you'd want to use it. You can see here that I've created a database here. Let's put some names in here. So let's put Smith. Let's put in Jones, let's put in Jenkins, and let's put in Williams. Okay, so this is my database that I've copied and pasted in. Could be thousands of characters long. And over on the right hand side here, you can see that I've got a concatenate formula working. And the way concatenate works, I don't want that, get rid of that. Looking at this, you can see we're going concatenate. We want to take concatenate. We want to take what's in cell E2, and then we want to add the text string at mydomain.com. In other words, build my email address. But to do that, we need to create a username. Now, most usernames are lowercase. Well, certainly in our domain, we like our usernames to be lowercase, and we like our email addresses to be lowercase. But data taken out of the database is going to be grammatically correct, so it's got capital letters. So we want to convert all of this text into lowercase. So that's when the lower formula comes in. So this spreadsheet, once it's been set up, will enable you to just simply copy and paste and dump into the A and B columns family names and first names, and straight away you can build your email addresses and usernames as a result of it. So let's type in lower, open brackets, and there's only one argument. It says identify the text that you want me to convert to lowercase, and so we've converted capital B Bill to lowercase Bill. Drag that down here. So in other words, it doesn't matter if you get really mixed text coming through because of the transcription errors from user input. It doesn't matter. So you could have Bill completely in capital letters, and this would make it into lowercase. It's actually very good. Let's do this again. Lower, this time family name. Whoops, in brackets, enter Smith, and drag this down. Right, so now we've created this. Now we need to create our usernames, and this is when we're going to use the concatenate formula again. So what's going to happen, we're going to concatenate Bill and SM from Smith. That's going to build our username, and finally that's going to satisfy the concatenate formula for my email address, which is going to take what is built in here and add it into here, which sort of cascades from one column into another, so it becomes very useful. So let's get into this. Let's click on here, again, equals, open brackets. Well, the first thing we want to do is take all of Bill and then separate, and now we're going to use the left formula, and we're going to identify this cell here, and we want to take the first 2 characters, close the brackets. Now this is very important here. If you click on this, when you create formulas in Excel, and every time you start nesting formulas, the deeper into the nest that you get, you need to make sure, like Russian dolls, that one fits inside the other. So Excel's got a neat feature here where it will color code your formulas, color code your brackets. So if I put a bracket here, you'll see it's a different color, and I'll take it out and it will come back to green. So I've opened my green bracket and I've closed my green bracket. I've opened my black bracket. I need to make sure I've closed it as well, otherwise my formula won't work. Now it's correct. I don't know why it's gone green, it's gone mad. Okay, but never mind, click enter, that should work. So now you can see here we've created our username, Bill SM, the rule has been satisfied, and now I've created a username. There's now data in cell E2, and so that now gets put into my final formula here, Bill SM at mydomain.com, works, autofill, and through the magic of Excel, look at that, it all works. So there, hopefully you can see that those 4 functions, left, right, mid and lower, are really useful tools for handling data in text form in Excel. There are a couple of other formulas we can look at. We can look at upper and proper, and we can look at those in another tutorial a bit later on. But in the meantime, that's it for this particular tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel, and if you do, you'll be able to be kept up to date with all the new tutorials that I've got in the pipeline to build for you. So please click on the subscribe button, and I really appreciate your feedback, so please give us some feedback. And again, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and until the next time, thanks very much.